ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್. ಕೂತಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾರಿಯರಿಗೂ ವಂದಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇಂದಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಈಗ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಮೈ ಐ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ the chairman and the vice chairman to escort our today's chief guest, Srimati Shamala DD, I.R.S, Additional Commissioner of Income Tax, Foreign Asset Investigation. And also request chairman to greet her with a floral bouquet. Let's have a round of applause. Dear members, it is my great honor to welcome all the esteemed guests, chief guest, all the delegates here. With this, I just start the introduction of our chief guest. Madam Shamala DD, Additional Commissioner of Income Tax, Foreign Investigation, Bangalore, was born in the village of Hassan district, Karnataka at Devaraj Gowda and Manjula couples. Schooling was completed in Channarai Patna, Hassan district, followed by an engineering degree from SJCE, Mysore in 2009. The pursuits of passion for civil services led to success in the UPSC examinations in 2011 with an All India ranking of 391, and she opted the Indian Revenue Services. The professional journey began as an assistant deputy commissioner in Mysore and Hassan since 2018. Posted in Bangalore, have experience in corporate assessments, international taxation, and tax investigation matters. Yeah. I call upon the chairman, Manjunath Hallu, sir, to present the welcome address.
Thank you, Secretary. Good morning, ladies, and only 2 or 3 of us. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, today is 8th March, International Women's Day. Should it be celebrated only on 8th March? No. Women's Day should be celebrated on a daily basis for all 365 or 366 days. Finance with finesse. Women leading the way. Vitta kaushalam naryaha margadarshikaha is the theme for this conference. The conference is organized under the aegis of Women and Young Members Excellence Committee of ICAI, and Bangalore branch is hosting it. Respected Chief Guest, Additional Commissioner of Income Tax, Shamala DD, Madam, I welcome you for this conference and thank you so much for accepting our invitation for being Chief Guest amongst us. And all the speakers, especially first speaker, Madam Namaste, and my dear MC members, especially Vice Chairperson Kavita Madam and MC member Sri Raksha. When we thought of we should have a women's conference and celebrate the Women's Day, I just requested and proposed that it should be on 8th March only, and then our VC said why not, and they agreed and then they supported. Thank you so much, ma'am. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ FM ರೇಡಿಯೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಸಿ ಅಶ್ವಥ್ ಅವರ ಸಂಗೀತ, GS ಶಿವರುದ್ರಪ್ಪ ಅವರ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ. ಆಕಾಶದ ನೀಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಚಂದ್ರ ತಾರೆ ತೊಟ್ಟಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಕನಿಟ್ಟು ತೂಗಿದಾಕೆ ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ಎಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಕೆ. ಸೊ ತುಂಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕವನ ಅದು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ honor to stand before you today on this special occasion and welcome you all, women chartered accountants. From handling complex audits and guiding businesses with strategic financial decisions women CAs have proven their expertise time and again. Many things to tell about women, Tayi, Madadi, Magalu, Tangi, Atte, whatnot. And I have heard many a times, fatherhood is perfect only when a daughter is born. And many things to mention, but let's hear from the dignitaries on the dais and then all the speakers here. I wish all the women fellow members to make best use of today's conference. We have fantastic speakers lined up for today. I thank CA Preeti Savlaji, Chairman, and CA Ravi Kumar Patwaji, Vice Chairman of Women and Young Members Excellence Committee of ICI, for giving us an opportunity to host this Women CA conference. Thank you once again. Happy conferencing.
Now may I call upon the Vice Chairman, Kavita P., to give the overview of the conference.
Respected Chief Guest, Shamala Madam, thank you for being here. And to all the adorable, lovely ladies here, and of course, the few men, MC colleagues of mine who are here. First of all, a big round of applause to all of you, each one of you, rather to all of us, for, today's day is dedicated to celebrate you. It is, like our chairman mentioned, it's not a day on one, it's not that one particular day, this day has to be celebrated. All of us would have experienced this. Every day is a Women's Day because we have some challenges, and when we conquer that, we feel so satisfied and then happy about it. And that's the Women's Day, what we have to, maybe this is a remarkable day to celebrate that, And this year's International Women's Day's theme is Accelerate Action. Accelerate action towards what? Accelerate action towards making a difference. We have already made a difference, but then there is a lot more to do it, and I think that's aptly made theme. Second, for a change, Government of India has also notified 8th March as this time for the first time as International Women's Day and as a national day. And the theme for the Government of India's theme is Vikasit Bharat with Nari Shakti. I was like, when I read this, I was like, wow, this is made apt for us. As finance professionals, I don't think so. The Viksit Bharat's dream is possible without our presence. So it is us as finance professionals who can really lead, and also the explanation provided by the government for this is enough of, women, rather than women development, it is women-led development. I was like, okay, enough of women development. Women are already developed and empowered, so there is nothing like women development. It is definitely women-led development. And coincidentally, our chairman also has designed a theme which said, Vitta Kaushalyam Naryaha Margadarshikaha. So it's all, when I was looking at this, everything is coinciding to this theme, saying that, okay, people, it is time for you to lead and take that lead everywhere, wherever you are present. So, it's a wonderful feeling being here among all of you. And with that, I'll come to the conference, today's conference. Like the way I said, the Vitta Kaushalyam Naryaha Margadarshikaha, definitely we have to be the leaders, and we will be leading this. For that, the subjects and the overview, the conference, the topics which we are going to discuss today are like this. The first one is on GST. All of us know GST has been been a constant debate. Everywhere we have some or the other problem, and GST, we cannot forget GST and say, oh, yeah, it's done. So therefore, we have Annapurna Srikanth with us to take us through the GST approach towards the GST notices which we are receiving. Thank you for being here, ma'am. The second subject is on, you must be hearing a lot about this ESG sustainability. Yes, it is going to be a big thing for us, and then again, there is an important role what women can play there because of the natural instincts towards nature and the caring what we bring in. Definitely ESG is a subject where we can make difference. And see, Asha is taking us through the subject today, and she will also explain how women can play a role there. The third session today is about the income tax, international taxation, which will be taken by C.A. Shweta Prabhu. And the last session is the art of communication. You know, all of us are good in our own ways, but many a times I think we hesitate, especially women, hesitate to express. That hesitation has to go and we have to express ourselves freely. And that's why this session on art of communication, which will be taken by one Mr. Chandramouli. He's a Guinness record holder in motivational speaker and in communication. So it will be definitely a useful session. I request all of you to take the best of this session, these sessions today. Most importantly, you know, network, make new friends. As you grow along, you feel lonelier, so new friends in the profession would definitely make a difference. So make new friends. Take this time for yourself and enjoy this day. Thank you. And thank you so much for all your encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Yeah, as the tradition goes, any conference or any event starts with the lighting of the lamp. I call upon all the dignitaries on the dais. I also recognize the presence of our SRC member, Pramod Hegde. All the MC committee members, please join us for the lighting of the lamp. Yeah. I also call upon the first speaker, Annapurna Srikanth, sir. Ma'am.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदं शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिः परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिः परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापं सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तु ते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च पतिं स्वच्छामि मे सदा
य एषः सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एषः सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामंशो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यभिहितश्च नान्यभिहितश्च एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता
Friends, we are truly privileged to have Madam Shamala DD as amongst us. Her exceptional journey in the world of income tax, coupled with her dedication and leadership as an additional commissioner of income tax, serves as an inspiration to all of us. Her remarkable contribution in the field not only empowers women, but also paves the way for future leaders in the financial sector. We look forward to her valuable insights and guidance today. May I call upon the chief guest to have her words today.
Good morning, everyone. All beautiful ladies who are gathered here today. Dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Manjunath, Kavita, and Virupakshapaji, and Pramod. It's a great honor to stand before you today on this special occasion of International Women's Day. Today, we celebrate strength, courage, and achievements of women everywhere. Women have always been strong. They have faced difficulties, fought for their rights, and worked hard to build a better world. Many great women like Indira Gandhi, Mary Kom, Kalpana Chawla around us, they have inspired us in every walk of our lives. Kalpana Chawla was the first Indian woman to go to space. She said, "The path from the dreams to success does exist. May you have the vision to find it, the courage to get onto it, and the perseverance to follow it." Mary Kom, a world champion boxer, showed that even after becoming a mother, a woman can still achieve great things. She said, "Don't let anyone tell you you are weak because you're a woman." So we all have to remember these things. Because we are women, we are weak. We are strong. We can achieve anything and everything. So not only these women around us, my mother, our mothers, our sisters, grandmothers, women around us, every day they're inspiring us. They're helping us to mold our personality. Today, as we gather here to celebrate the essence of womanhood, I would like to quote a powerful shloka. This shloka is being quoted everywhere in every Women's Day function. Yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devataha, which means where women are worshipped, there the God resides. This phrase is often quoted at every events like this, reminding us that our country has a long tradition of revering women in the form of nature, rivers, wisdom, wealth, and the embodiment of power. But my friends, worshipping is not enough. What we truly need is respect, equality, and fair share of responsibilities. For centuries, women have played a crucial role in shaping societies, nurturing families, and driving progress. Yet even today, many women face discrimination, inequality, and barriers to opportunities. It is time for us to move beyond more reverence and take concrete steps towards real empowerment. Respecting women is not about offering them a seat or celebrating them on special occasion. It is about acknowledging their strengths, valuing their opinions, and ensuring that they have equal say in every sphere of life. It means creating a society where a woman's voice is heard, her choices are respected, and her contributions are recognized. True equality comes when responsibilities are shared, not just within homes, but also in workplaces and governance. A family, a community, and a nation can only thrive when both men and women stand together, work together, and rise together. Let us pledge today that we will not just praise women, but also support them in achieving their dreams, that we will not just honor them, but also stand up against any injustice they face. That we will not just talk about empowerment, but actively create an environment where they feel safe, respected, and equal. Because when we respect women, we do not just uplift them, we uplift humanity itself. And that, my friends, is where true divinity resides. The women's movement initially started in the early years of early century, 1905 it started. It started for equal rights, equal pay, and voting rights, etc. But today, we have achieved so many things. The challenges are different today. Women are now well educated, financially independent, and holding leadership positions. Yet, deep-rooted inequality still persists in the society. Women are still underrepresented in politics, leadership roles, and decision-making positions. Social norms and biases continue to limit their opportunities. We are advanced, we are well educated, we are financially independent, but the deep-rooted patriarchy still exists in the society. That is where we are facing the problems in everyday's life. It is about changing mindsets, ensuring equal opportunities, and breaking the invisible barriers that hold women back. Even today, inequality persists inequality in pay exists. So we can come across like many incidents like in construction workers cases and then agricultural labors. So what effort a woman is putting, same effort the male is also putting, but there what male is getting is different from that of what female is getting. Female are always paid less compared to their male counterparts. With the rise of social media, the internet, and rapid technological advancements, women and young girls are more exposed than ever to issues like cyberbullying, body shaming, harassment, and even character assassination sometimes. Unfortunately, society often judges women by the clothes they wear rather than the strength of their character. Social media, which should have been the platform for connection and self-expression, has become a space where unrealistic beauty standards are set, where self-worth is often measured in likes and comments, and where negativity can spread faster than kindness. Many girls and women struggle with self-esteem, mental health issues, and pressure to conform the societal expectations. So as women today, we are having more opportunities. We can study, we can work, and then earn equally in many sectors. We are financially independent, but challenges we are facing today are different. Society's mindset has not fully changed. Even though we are educated and independent, many people still hold old beliefs. Women still face problems at home and work. We have achieved a lot, but true equality is still a long journey. For working women, no matter our position is. So as like I'm working as additional director, and then like compared to my male counterparts, I feel like for female that the discrimination is still existing, because like my counterparts, they are like they can think only about their work, their office thing, but it is not the same for me. I'll have to juggle between my personal life and my professional life. So many times, like after finishing my office, I come home and then I'll have to think, though I am having domestic helpers, cooks, everything to help me, but still I'll have to manage this homely affairs. I'll have to look after that meals are properly planned. I'll have to see my child is like studying or like he has completed his homework, and then what has to be bought to home, groceries, etc. I'll have to think, and then I'll have to complete that task also before going to my office. So once I'm back from office, I can't think that what has happened in my office. Only I can think about my home. So this is what we are struggling today. So we are earning, we are independent, but once, like every day morning, I get up at 6:45, and then only when I get into the car, I get that relief, and then I take deep breath in car, and then I think only about office when I get into the car. Till that time, I can't even think that, like what has to be done in office. Like I can't plan my office work. So this is what every day we are facing. These are the problems. So practical problems are different. Like you can say that today, like in all aspect of, all sphere of work, like women have achieved. So she has done that. We are having that female president. We are having female finance minister. So everything we can say. But what practical problems we are facing, so society is failing to understand that. So in my own life, I find difficulties to focus on my office work. So I'm lagging behind my male counterparts because I'll have to juggle between like my office work and my professional life. So in office also things are not so different, and then that deep-rooted discrimination is still exist. So how my male counterparts get treatment? Same way I am not welcomed in same manner, right? So like many people, they prefer male over female in their workspaces because they think that it is difficult to like communicate or like handle these women. So I've seen in some news that some corporate establishment that they're not willing to take female candidates because they go on maternity leave, this and all. That is the reason being given. So like why this, like after so many years of, so why this inequality is still, I just wonder, like it is not only my professional thing. So what is important is that I'll have to mold one generation, I'll have to guide one full generation. So that responsibility is also on women. People have to understand that, so this is not the only thing, my profession is not the only thing. So they have to give female their due share, respect and responsibilities. Sometimes male colleague, whether subordinates or superiors, hesitate to work with female. So due to some stereotype, we will have to continually prove ourselves. We'll have to put more effort compared to our male counterparts to prove ourselves, to break the gender stereotypes. This is what the thing we are facing today. So it is my request that please come out of all these things and then see as human being rather than female. We are also equally capable. We also put equal effort to prove ourselves. So, there is one Kannada saying, Hennondu kalitare shaleyondu teradante. If a male is educated, only that male is educated. But if a female is educated, it is not less than like opening a school. So, she has the responsibility of guiding one full generation, molding one full generation. Please do not undervalue her. She performs a dual role both at home and the society. She needs the equal opportunities so she can thrive and continue fully. The challenge is not just from men. Many times, even women do not support each other. So, like that Jade Jagla, people say that. So, if two females are working together, that it is not like always like there are fights and then they don't gel together. All these things are there. We will have to like we have to break all these things. So we have to support our fellow women. So be it a leave, if like my female boss is there, if I go to her and then asking leave, and then like convincing her may be sometimes difficult than convincing my male bosses. So that things are still existing. As a female, we have to support each other at workplace. It is our responsibility to treat our fellow women with respect and support them. Only when we stand together can women truly thrive. So let's not just celebrate Women's Day with words. Let's take action, let's educate girls, respect women and give them equal opportunities. As Michelle Obama said, there is no limit that what we as women can accomplish. Happy Women's Day to all. Keep shining, keep growing and keep inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. We are taking an exception here. We are asking our all-time young and energetic past chairman of Bangalore branch and the current SRC member, Regional Council member, Sri Pramod Hegde, to speak a few words today.
Happy International Women's Day, everyone. Firstly, dignitaries on the dais, Chairman C.M. Manjunath M. Hallur, Secretary C.A. Tuppad. Of course, we can't forget our chief guest, Ms.Shamala, and our dynamic lady vice chairperson, C.A. Kavita, Bangalore branch committee members, of course, women committee members when I say Sri Raksha, Vinod, and the speakers, dynamic speakers of the day. Of course, Annapurna is here on the front. Yeah, Tuppad did tell it's an exception. Of course, indeed, it was an exception. After getting elected in Southern India Regional Council, I was supposed to attend the Southern India Regional Council Women Conference today. And being the office bearer, I was supposed to be there. I made an exception there as well. I said, you know, Bangalore branch is hosting a women's conference, so I'm going there. Of course, I did not have an invite from the Bangalore branch. I called them up and said, I'm coming to this Women's Day. Specifically, one is that because I wanted to wish you all, and I wanted to share my experience also. Ms. Shamala did tell a couple of points. I was just making note. Probably I'm not here to debate on those points, but I thought I would share my perspective in ICI so that we can agree to disagree or probably agree with it. So when we started this Women's Day conference in Bangalore branch, it was a lady chairperson initiative. Of course, you must all be knowing CA Geeta AB. She was the first chairperson in women in Bangalore branch and in from Karnataka to represent the entire SIRC. And currently, our Southern Indian Regional Council chairperson is also a woman who is leading us. She's CA Revati. And so when this program was planned in Chennai, they said that you men have to be there. I said, why, what is that role we have? There I didn't say. When I spoke to the committee members in Bangalore, I said, we have to be there at least to wish you. So when we wish you, it's more appreciated. When men wishes a woman more, then probably that makes more sense, and probably that is the small thing what we can contribute for today's program. So that's the reason I was here, and I said, first, let me attend this women's program. With respect to my previous journey, when I was the chairman, my first program was Women's Day celebration. And as she said, it's Nari Shakti, and that Shakti which kept me driving throughout my entire year. My secretary was a woman, so which was C.A. Kavita, who was the strong support for me towards it. At least even at home, it's Nari Shakti, my mom, sister, and my wife who runs it. And of course, even in our workplace as well, it's the women who contribute more. So we've been, I've been fortunate enough to get that Shakti. And the very essence of today is Shakti and Yukti. All you chartered accountants are very, knowledgeable. And Shakti and Yukti can meet in one place. So which is that I would like to tell you that you guys should clap for yourself, that you're both, you represent the strength and the knowledge. And of course, I generally don't take too much of time in my speeches. I just conclude well. But today I thought it was a bit an emotional day for me, though I'm a man. And I also thought I'll share you a couple of things. We always debate, me and Kavita, whenever we used to talk about women empowerment, I got it realized then. She used to always say, you don't have to empower women. Women are already empowered. Yes, I agree for that fact. That's the reason the earlier committee in the ICI was Women Empowerment Committee. They had to rebrand and rename it, and they made it Women Excellence Committee. So you are already empowered. And also with respect to, I don't know how was it in Income Tax Department, madam, we did have a couple of interactions as well. Earlier, Ms. Vandana Sagar used to be here. So we used to closely interact, and she used to take up all the leads, with respect to the sports activity between the chartered accountants and women's. And we've already appreciated. A lot of men, as you said, counterparts didn't take this role. And we are still looking, and past 2 years, we have not done any sports activity with income tax. So I think now you should take up that lead and ensure that the bridge is set up so that we can take the relationship with the tax forward. And having said that, I don't want to come in between because we have wonderful lined up speakers who will be sharing their knowledge and their expertise. And today is your day. You need to celebrate this day. And when madam was saying, I was just thinking of a joke. I don't know whether I should be sharing it here. She said we don't need, we need, just not respect is not sufficient, to treat us more than that. So they were telling that, we treat women as goddess in our country. So does it mean that just for Naivedya you keep things and pray and you eat the preparations? So that's not the case. We do it to it, let's walk together. And of course, today is a day which you guys have to celebrate. Please take this time out. Encourage all your women members to participate in such initiatives. And with respect to underrepresentation, I do agree with her fact. There is quite a lot of underrepresentation in the leadership role. And you guys should take it forward. And we are there to support you. If anybody is coming forward, we are there here to support you in your leadership roles. With this, I would like to conclude. And thank you, Bangalore branch, for this exception. Thank you very much and welcome you all.
Thank you, Pramod. Yeah. Now it's time for us all, we the MC committee members and the SIRC member here, to felicitate the speaker. Please, all of you, please join us for the felicitation.
I remember only few, 3 or 4 women I have interacted so far in office. So I was like asking Kavita, what is the thing, like why the female folks are not coming and then they're not taking it, because like chartered accountant profession is equally very difficult to crack CA exam. You are all very competent. Why female folks are not coming in this sphere, like income tax? So what I've seen is that only from young girls from Big Four, they come sometimes, that too, like they accompany their bosses and then they come. So with the files, like why that kind of things are there? You all can come out and then explore the opportunities, right? Yeah, sure. So you can take up, no, this profession is very good, and then you all can come out, and then even ITT also I've seen very few female folks, they're coming for like arguing in IT, representing in IT level also. So you all can come out and then explore the opportunities for yourself.
Definitely, I mean, well said, and then that's a key for all of us also. If you see from Institute Bangalore branch, we have been conducting programs on litigation for women exclusive programs, where to train our women on the litigation as a practice area, which is very good. And with the new income tax bill coming in, while madam is there, I should not be telling, but take it from me that it is going to be more litigation, more litigation, more litigation. So it's a good practice area for all of us to get in. So we will have more programs on the litigation management itself, how representation. We did 2-3 programs last year also. We will do some more programs on that. So please, all of you, please take up that as a practice area. And of course, you will have ma'am there, so you can always approach her for tips, not for anything else. Okay? How to handle XYZ. So you can just go meet her and then get the tips. Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for that.
Yes. The Almighty has created two beautiful things. That is, one is the Mother Earth, Vasundhara, and the women here. So, these are the two greatest creations of the Almighty. So with this, now we come to the end of the inaugural session, and it is my duty to give the vote of thanks. To all the delegates, thank you for being here. Your presence today signifies the importance of supporting and uplifting women in finance and beyond. Madam, we are truly indebted to you for being here with us this morning. I thank upon the chairman, the vice chairman, the SIRC member, and my committee members for taking this trouble to organize this beautiful conference. And now I hand over this to our Vice Chairman Kavita, as well as Sri Raksha, our new member in the committee, to take up on the technical sessions. Thank you all.
Good morning, everyone, and a very happy Women's Day to all my dear women chartered accountants. Let's start our first technical session. It's my privilege to introduce CA Annapurna Srikanth as the speaker on the subject Approaches to Department Proceedings under GST. CA Annapurna Srikanth from Mysore, practicing since 17 years. I request everybody to join your hands together and welcome CA Annapurna ma'am. Please take this. CA Annapurna Srikanth from Mysore, practicing since 17 years, specialized in GST advisory and litigation. She has been an academic achiever, securing All India third rank in all the 3 professional qualifications like CA, DISA and CS. She is the founder partner of Measures Annapurna Srikanth and Associates, a chartered accountant firm founded in April 2009. She was the vice chairperson of State GST Committee of FKCCI for the year 2018-19. She is an empaneled member in the Faculty of Indirect Taxes Committee of ICAI. She is a sought-after resource person at various professional fora and for government in conduct of training programs for practitioners, trade and industry, and also for department officials in more than 250 programs. She has written a booklet titled Bookkeeping and Record Keeping in GST. She has contributed to a book titled GST, an abridged compendium. She was part of the compilation team for a compendium titled Synopses to GST Law. She is the knowledge partner for Insta GST, a knowledge-oriented GST app. She has bagged medals, awards, and certificates and has been felicitated by various professional, public, and private organizations like silver medals by ICAI, ICSI, gold medal and excellent award by Vasavi Union Bangalore. She is also a playback singer having her own label, Fusion Ragas. So let's join our hands together for CA Annapurna ma'am.
Namaskara and very happy morning to all the young ladies present here. It's indeed delightful to see you all. Wish you all a very happy International Women's Day. Before I start my presentation, let me hear it. How much time do I have? Raksha? Well, 1 hour? Thanks. So, can we have a raise of hands? How many of you are practicing in GST or some way connected with GST compliance and representation and all that stuff? Please let us have more energy. Yeah. That's nice. You know, apparently 50% plus participants today are into GST practice in some way or the other. That's really interesting and a good thing, so that I can dwell on the topic more deeply, so that I understand the professional colleagues who are present today can connect to what I'm going to discuss about. This is an overview of what I would be covering today. Many a times, any communication that comes from the department, client will come running, or these days it's all uploaded on portal. The junior staff in the team say, notice bandide, correct? For any communication, the word used is notice. Is everything that comes under the department letterhead a notice in a true sense? Is it some communication? Do we have to have a common single approach to every communication that thus comes in? These are certain things which we need to dwell upon. How many of you are interested in taking up GST litigation work? A raise of hands. Maybe 10% of people who raised when I said how connected you are with GST practice. Like our chief guest for the day was mentioning, there's a lot of hesitation among women, although they are capable of a little bit push or encouragement is required. Let me tell you, just before I get into my technical topic for the speaking, I have a lot of mentors who have helped me reach where I am today. I've started the litigation practice more rigorously or specifically with the GST coming into place. Before that, I was probably like most of you are doing a core bookkeeping, passionate, configurations, returns, compliance. This was the forte. But of course, I always thought that whatever we take up, we have to excel in that field. That is my mantra for life, aspire for excellence. But then I would like to mention two names here. One, CA Rupa Venkatesh, who inspired me, I think, in 2017 when the talks about GST coming into place was there. It was during the Women's Day when we met each other in 2017. And then when we were incidentally speaking, she said, "You speak well. Why don't you think about start speaking on GST?" I took it so seriously. And to be able to speak, you will definitely put in lot of efforts to gain that expertise, isn't it? That way my journey started of getting deeper knowledge in GST. And today, I proudly say that I take up core GST litigation work. That has been my 95% of the practice area today. And I would like to acknowledge my guru, my mentor, Sri Jatin Christopher sir, who has supported me tremendously, and not just me, many youngsters who are willing to take up GST litigation as an area of practice. He's very kind and generous in sharing and helping and guiding youngsters like that. The point I'm trying to drive you is, if you have a mind or an intention to do things, bigger things, better things, definitely you will find people around you who are willing to help, and we must never hesitate to ask. And I see that very many generous people are there to help us out. I think on a serious note, GST is going to be a big area for practice with all the softwares, AI and all of that stuff. Probably the mundane, routine, repetitive works of bookkeeping, compliance and all of that stuff might lose its glamour, or lose its significance rather. But then litigation in the GST area is going to be a big area to seriously think upon. Income tax is 1 return per year. GST is 12 or 4. So you think about the magnificence or the multiplicity of the issues that might come in this area. I think you should give it a serious thought. If you're really serious about pursuing a career in GST, I think you should never hesitate to get into the litigation. There is a huge and tremendous scope for it. With this preset, I would like to take further the technical aspects. We as professionals have a balancing role to play. When I say a balancing role to play, we understand accounting, GST compliance. Of course, we also understand the department's perspective when it issues a notices. I think we are an apt, we come under an apt position to balance, wherein we can guide or help the clients, at the same time bridge between the department as well. Don't take me wrong, I'm not talking about the conventional litigation practice. I speak it loud and with confidence that there is definitely a possibility of clean litigation practice, and I'm totally experiencing it. Knowledge is powerful. Use your pen like a sword. My mentor always used to say this, and I've experienced this n number of times in my litigation practice. Yes, I say it loud again. It is possible to do a clean litigation practice, and we women can do it all the more better. That is an added advantage of we being women as well. What is the role we need to play? Whenever a client comes saying that, "Madam, this notice has come, what do you recommend? Should I pay it, or is there a way out?" Isn't this the common question a client comes and asks? What should you do? It is important. The decision to pay or not to pay tax should be of the client. Based on his decision, the strategy should be ours. This is the critical role we play. I'll give you an example. There came a demand, an order was passed, which is a time-barred order. Time-barred order is, the law stipulates a point of time within which for the particular year the order needs to be passed. No matter the demand is legitimate, no matter the demand is legitimate, but if it is a time barred order, department doesn't have right or the power to recover it per se, isn't it? But this is not automatic. The taxpayer has to litigate for this. There came a time barred order and client asked, I informed the client, I advocated the client saying that no matter what is the content of the demand, it has been served to you post the due date prescribed for the service of the order. This is very easily contestable and this is a time bar demand which is not payable in terms of law. Of course, we will have to file appeal, but it is a easy case to win. This is the kind of advocacy which I gave. Client said, no madam, I don't want to litigate. I think it is some 1.5 lakhs or something is the demand. I don't want to litigate. I want to pay. Your wish. So, the decision to pay the demand or to litigate should be of the client. We have to be clear about the position of the law based on our understanding and knowledge. I'll give another contrasting example. Client came with the notice and when we analyzed, it came to our knowledge that it is a taxable supply, but client has treated it as exempt supply and has not paid the taxes. Demand has come now. Madam, how do we go about? So I said, this is clearly a payable. It's a taxable supply. You missed on it. This has to be paid. Madam, I don't have money to pay. We have to litigate this. I don't have money to pay. So he asked, you have money to pay my fees? Anyways, that is on the lighter side of it. Here, the decision to litigate the client has made. Now, truth does not matter, facts do. What does this mean? Whatever be the truth, the notice had a lot of defects. Before even crystallizing the demand or filing the reply based on the issues in the notice, we identified that there were a lot of defects in the notice, technicalities were not taken care, due process of law was not followed. Anyways, client had decided that he wants to litigate, he doesn't have money to pay taxes. If not me, he will go to some other professional. But within the framework of law, this notice was contestable because of the defects the notice possessed. Then we took up the matter and argued in the further proceedings. The point I am trying to drive here is, let the decision to pay or not to pay be of the client. We are only advocating the position of the law based on which client will take a decision. Then we will devise the strategy within the framework of law as to how to proceed with this. Notices versus communications. Every notice is not a show cause notice, correct? An ASMT 10, everybody has seen an ASMT 10 who are practicing a GST? For the benefit of others, let me just give a brief scrutiny. Scrutiny of GST comparable data, 1, 3B, 2A, 3B, all of these things, return related discrepancies or whatever information is already filed, those related discrepancies, sometimes portal itself will generate all this data and officers will send out this ASMT 10. This is basically a scrutiny notice. It is not a show cause notice. You might have seen DRC 1, correct? Am I speaking too technical? Should I dilute it or is this fine? Okay. DRC 1 is an electronic summary of the show cause notice. Show cause notice is the starting point for the litigation and the reply to show cause notice has to be very carefully thought and made based on the strategy what we are going to adopt as we move further depending on the decision of the client. So we have to first identify any notice coming, whether it is a simple notice or a show cause notice. First of all, is it a notice? Now, we get DRC 1A, which is an intimation pre-consultation notice is what we call. it is not a notice, it is an intimation. What needs to be replied is very crisp and very, it's like one word answer. Keep it very brief for a reply to DRC 1A. Likewise, every communication needs to be understood and then responded. Most common errors which happen in responding to communications is that people don't think about under which section it is issued, whether the officer has the power to issue. Simply they go on providing all the information that is asked, that is not asked, and then end up in trouble. I'll give you a quick comparison. Imagine a traffic police officer comes to you and says, hey, look, you have GST dues pending. You have to pay 15 lakhs of GST. Will you agree and pay? Why will a traffic police officer ask a GST due? How does he have the power? He doesn't have jurisdiction, isn't it? If an inspecting officer comes and asks for the routine books of accounts, Kodini books of accounts, purchase ledger, sales ledger, ITC register, creditor ledgers, they'll ask hundreds of things. Being at the time of conduct of inspection, is the taxpayer required to oblige to it? It is as good as a traffic police officer demanding a GST due. Inspecting officer has a limited power for which he is conducting inspection, and his inquiry and ask should be limited to that power what he has got in INS 1. INS 1 is like a one-time visa. If we want to go travel abroad, our visit to the country should be accompanied with that visa. One-time visa is we can go only once and come back. INS 1 is also like one-time visa, scratch card. Once it is scratched, over. You can't re-scratch it again. So whatever limited reasons INS 1 is issued, the officer should limit his activity. It can't be ದಾರಿ ಉದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದರೆ ಹುಡುಕಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಿಕ್ಕೇ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇವ್ರ ಅಂಗಡಿಲೂ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅವ್ರ ಅಂಗಡಿಲೂ. ಇಟ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. It has to be a reasons to believe should have existed prior to conduct of inspection. I have listed these sections under which show cause notice can be issued and other notices. I am not going to take you all of this through because this is only a material which I would like to share for your future reference. I am giving you a contrast between taxpayers' duties and rights, what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. Please remember, there is no concept of spot recovery under the GST law. No. Department cannot visit the premises and say that I found so much of stock difference, 10 lakh rupees right now you should pay. No. There is a procedure to demand, notice has to be issued, opportunity has to be provided, the due process has to be followed. There is no concept of spot recovery in GST. Please advise your clients not to pay. If paid, it becomes an involuntary payment in anxiety and stress and not voluntary payment, even though it is discharged in DRC 3 and they get a right to apply for refund also. Because it's an involuntary payment. Before issuance of notice, you come, you make me panic and make me pay. So within 2 years, that right to file refund also will get lost. So don't miss out on this opportunity also. If any involuntary payments have been made during inspection, please go for refund. You are eligible for it because it is not done in a due process manner without providing sufficient opportunity to the noticee. I've seen notices or ASMT 10s where it says that, hey, look, you have both taxable and exempt supplies. So there is something called as common credit reversal. We are all aware of this, no? We have traveled 8 years in GST. I'm sure this is something we all would know. Whenever there is this common credits, we need to do a proportionate reversal with respect to the exempt supplies to the extent of that. Now, in my return, is it possible to identify how much of the total ITC is common credit? No. So, if they have issued a ASMT 10 demanding Rule 42 reversal, it is not possible in section 61, which is scrutiny. They are asking information to find out discrepancy. Can they do that? No. Section 61 is very clear. Out of the returns filed and discrepancy identified, you issue ASMT 10 to seek explanation for the discrepancy already identified. You can't ask information to identify discrepancy. You can ask explanation for an identified discrepancy. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟಂಗ್ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ? So, this common credit reversal cannot be a subject matter of ASMT 10. You can deny saying that this cannot be subject matter because how can a return show how much of my ITC is common credits? GST 3B, GSTR 3B is not yet so sophisticated to give that breakup. Hope that doesn't happen that as well. So first point, any ASMT 10 replies, be careful to evaluate whether they are issuing out of discrepancies identified already or they are making you feed information, fuel their thoughts, to fuel their thoughts. Be careful because most of the times problems get worst at OPD case and then it comes to surgery. You understand? And self-medication is all the more dangerous. Let them be aware of what to give and what not to give. How many of you have seen the audit wing demanding information? I want to see whether you have made payment to all your creditors within 180 days. So now provide me a list of all the transactions where you have claimed ITC, where payment is with the date of payment as being another additional column. Audit has power to ask for the books of accounts, agreed. But where in the law it is required to maintain this worksheet where payment of creditors should be maintained in a register? No. Section 35 also doesn't say, Rule 56 also doesn't say. How officers are asking? They are asking, people are responding. That is the problem. Do what is required to be done in the law, don't overdo anything. If they ask this kind of an worksheet, you are free to say that my client has maintained books of accounts in terms of 35 and Rule 56, all that is being provided. Can they ask for the backup of the tally data or any electronic books of records? Can they ask for it? Rule 56 doesn't provide power to ask for backup. All that they can do is ask for access. Access you are obliged to give. When they do a audit at your premises, you are required to give an access to the data. But then backup is not required to be provided in the law. So one must be aware of what are the responsibilities and what are the rights they have. Like I said, inspection, classic traffic police example. So they can't ask for your routine books of accounts. I've seen a lot of inspection being, some they'll call endorsement in state, alva? Some names they've traditionally carried forward. They'll issue an endorsement asking taxpayer some 20 list of things. We conducted inspection at your premises. You have promised to provide, you have said that books are at your auditor's place. So you have promised to provide all these details within 7 days. Please, alva? Typical, isn't it? Some 20 line item list they will ask. And people will happily provide, thinking that as if giving that details will put an end to the proceedings. In fact, it will fire it up and blast it off. Be very careful. Do what is required to be really done in the law and not anything beyond. Now, what are the safeguards taxpayers have? Section 59, which talks about self-assessment, is a powerful section. It's a powerful section. Now, is self-assessment perfect assessment? Everybody have done self-assessment to the best of their capacity. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಮ್. To err is human, to forgive is divine ಅಲ್ವಪ್ಪ. ನಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಗಳ ರಿಟರ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಎರರ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. And depending on the capacity of the people, errors have happened. more capacity, more number of errors. Less capacity, less errors. Ashte. Errors to err is human. It's okay. Don't take it on your head. Yo, nam kadindane tappag hogbidi. We have tried our best in helping clients do the compliance. Clients have also tried their best thinking what is right, they have done. Alva. That is the power of self-assessment. Self-assessment, what is right, who will decide? ಅದೇ ಲಿಟಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ 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 ಫೈನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸತಿ ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ಬೆಂಚ್ ಮುಂದೆ ವಿ ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಆನ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೈಟ್, it is a subject matter of litigation in the matter of the facts and circumstances of the case. Don't think that self-assessment is perfect assessment. When does self-assessment start? When the party issues a tax invoice, there itself self-assessment tax. Correct? What all details tax invoice has? Date of document, andre time of supply. HSN code, andre classification, taxable, exempt, rate of tax eno. There is a value put up on the invoice, valuation, section 15 and read with the rules. Rate, computation, abatement idya. So your tax invoice is a full-fledged self-assessment start document. There it starts and you've done your best. When it is a compliance, your mode will be different. You are going to advise client on what is right in terms of your understanding of the law, substantiate with notifications and all of that stuff. But when a notice comes, you look at it as a different way. Like I said, client will decide. Based on that, you will try to see, has the officer issued the notice properly at the first instance? Do you first need to answer the question or first question the question? We've heard Jatin sir saying this many times. First question the question. Without even understanding the question, you have reframed the question and trying to answer, which we are all very good at. You know, we have sailed through CA so smoothly, means that we are very smart in doing all this. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗದೇ ಇರೋ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್. Let us not use that skill and talent in GST litigation because it is going to aggravate the problem. Rather, use this kind of an approach. Yet another powerful section in GST law is 160 subsection 2. Whenever there is any discrepancy in any notice, 160 subsection 2 says that the taxpayer must question this at the first available opportunity. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಮೌನಂ ಸಮ್ಮತಿ ಲಕ್ಷಣಂ. ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲ? ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ? ಗುಡ್. ಕಷ್ಟ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾತಾಡೋರು ಸಿಗೋದೇ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಎನಿವೇಸ್, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಡೈಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಮೌನಂ ಸಮ್ಮತಿ ಲಕ್ಷಣಂ ಅಂತ. ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ upper hand because there is some 160 subsection 1 to protect them, which says that when noticee acts upon without questioning it, it is deemed that all defects in the notice are accepted by the noticee and proceeded upon. So be careful about this, and whenever you find that this is not in terms of the legal framework, please use section 160 subsection 2 to question the notice at the first instance. And whenever it is an inspection proceeding, 6710 is a very powerful section. They must have enough material on record to say that there existed reasons to believe to conduct inspection. Inspection is not a routine thing to be done casually. It is a powerful proceeding which officers are provided, which has to be very carefully and appropriately exercised by the officers. So the officer authorizing, it must be put up in his file as to why this case is fit case for inspection, and the taxpayer has right to get the material by asking for it. You can file an application under 6710 or you can file even RTI. We have got replies to RTI sharing this material on record to take up this inspection matter, and this becomes a ground for us to contest the entire proceedings. Forget about the facts of the matter. On technicalities alone, these things can be contested. We have all these returns related notices. You know, we have e-way bill versus GSTR 1, 13B, 2A3B, 99C. You have seen enough of these things, I'm sure. There are late fee demands, standalone interest demands. Going forward, now that e-invoicing has come to a very lower limit and eventually they might even reduce it further, once that becomes universally applicable, this another discrepancy identification might also pitch in. And come August 2022, it's already 2.5 years, there is a new reporting method of GST which has come in. I'm sure all of you are aware, where ITC is matched to 2B, and out of which whatever is not claimable or to be postponed, you classify it into temporary reversals and permanent reversals and report it. So be careful about that, because putting a temporary reversal wrongly under permanent reversal might land up trouble, might land the client in trouble, because he might lose that as a per se because he has reported it. Again, it can be subject matter of litigation. We should not unnecessarily spurt litigation. Wherever it is possible, when we are doing a compliance, taking a safe route might be a good idea. So maybe treating everything as a temporary reversals might be a good way to deal with it, so that ultimately what will happen, my reclaimed ledger will show some balance which might get subject to scrutiny, but if I mistakenly reported a temporary reversal as a permanent reversal, there is a risk of losing the credit claim itself in future. So taking that in mind, probably this can be something to be looked into. These things can come up. Now HSN reporting is mandatory at 4-digit and 6-digit to respective turnover categories for B2B transactions with the lower turnover category, and for all transactions with a higher category. Now look at this. How do people identify HSN? Google search. Namaste to Google. Huh? Classification is a very big responsibility. People cannot rely on their supplier's classification, because he does an error. That error cannot be inherited and carried forward. Your client will be independently questioned for a misclassification. So whenever your client asks, Madam HSN helbidi, see, it is not a light thing. You imagine you make an error of treating an 18% transaction as 12%. If we had rightly advised, he would have collected it from client. Alva, that is the beauty of indirect tax. You don't bear it. You collect it from your clients. Now that can be a costly mistake. Be very careful in giving consultation and advice regarding HSN, because it's an area of expertise in itself. We have customs chapters which has voluminous things to say why a product, how there is rules of classification also. It's a whole lot of things to consider before committing or providing one simple HSN details for treating what is the rate of tax. If you're seriously interested, take it as a separate assignment and work on it. Do research on it, study all these things, and then provide based on the justification. But don't do it on a routine manner that, classification matters. Tomorrow, once this HSN is mandatory, they might have an AI help to compare what HSN codes and what the prevailing rates are there. Is it right? And notices might shoot up based on this. So be careful in HSN reporting also. Then this e-credit and ledger I said. ITC related notices. How many of you have got 16.4 notices? What is 16.4? Section 16.4. March return I file in December of the following year. What was the time? September, within September due date it has to be filed. Many have filed beyond that. Now notices flooded saying that this entire credit what you claimed in March is ineligible, barred by 16.4. Government came up with 16.5 with the relief for the first 4 years, 17-18 to 2021, saying that if the returns are filed within 30th November of 2021 for all these 4 years, then it is not barred by 16.4, it gets extended to 16, owing to 16.5, it gets extended till 30th November 21, and If any demands or orders are passed with respect to this, you have to file a rectification application, file an annexure, and the last date for that is 7th April 2025. Hardly another month to go. If you have any such 16(4) demands, it is an easier route to, because we have this process of, I've given the notification and circular details. Please go for it so that client's demand will get dropped off and he'll be eligible to claim that credit. Similarly, we have cases where cancellation happened, then later it was revoked. But when cancellation happened, 16(4) had not, it was not time barred 16(4), but after revocation it became. So to cover that, we have section 16(6). So please be aware of these things and you may advise. How many of you have seen notices where on creditors' closing balances, they pick it from the balance sheet and say on the entire balance, 18% ITC you need to reverse, flat 18%. Correct? Is it possible for the department to issue such notices? What are they trying to do? We will address how to look at these things. Some more common issues is, especially you see in this distribution set of a business, where they pass on incentives and schemes and rebates and discounts for turnover accomplishment and all of these things, and pathetically most of the times it is reported as other income. Government, the notices, the officers pick it up from other income and say that it is taxable at 18%. Ideally it is your purchase cost reduction. Ideally it should have been your purchase cost reduction and reported accordingly. So it should be a reduction of your expenditure and not an increase in your income. But then owing to such reportings, it is glaringly evident and that issue has been taken up. So this can also be looked upon and contested. Now as far as ITC is concerned, when you're thinking about compliance, we have now invoice management system also in place, correct? Compliance is going to be very, very humongous task and a lot of diligent work needs to be done, गलती से भी mistake नहीं कर सकते. It can cost a big money for the clients as well. Know your suppliers. How, if a new supplier is coming as part of your business, how do you know whether he's a compliant supplier or not? Because your credit is dependent on his compliance, correct? If you log into the GST portal and then do a search GST and look at his compliance, it will show how much of GSTR1 value he has discharged in 3B. The screenshot which is there in terms of percentage. Sometimes you will see more than 100%. Probably that is because of RCM. Your GSTR1 will not have RCM, but 3B will have RCM. That is why 103%. Appa, super compliant supplier this is. More than one is paying taxes in 3B. Good supplier, we should deal with him. This gives an indication of how healthy your 2B can be depending on your, so probably this is something like you can explore about. But I would recommend don't do everything as an all-inclusive package. You will struggle so much with lot of work. Turn everything to an assignment, give value add, guide client, make out a presentation and give out a material as to whatever work you have done. Many times I see that we are all good in doing work. We lack those presentability skills, which MBAs are very good. Stuff video ilvo, they do good presentations and win over. We have lot of potential. We are hesitant in making a presentation or hesitant in putting up a report. Please record your work and present it and charge for it. There you will see a difference because you will also get a base tomorrow. Why did you advise like that? Otherwise, everything telephonic, over exchange of mails, your memory also fades and you will keep thinking what happened, why, anta. So this is something to look at. The most dangerous is the portal notices, alva. You get this DRC 1B, 1 versus 3B difference, 1B will come, 7 days you need to reply, else direct bank attachment. Section 7512 is a powerful section available with the officers where for any 1 versus 3B difference, department has a right for directly recovering because the law was, an explanation was inserted to 7512, which says that anything reported in GSTR1 is self-assessed tax, and when it is self-assessed tax, it is a self-assessed tax due and department has a direct recovery. But even in that case, they brought in this and said that you need to give a portal intimation of DRC1B, but many times people are not aware that intimation has come. Somebody's email ID, somebody's phone number. Please don't give your office phone number and email ID. You will have the burden of monitoring all of that. And some fine day you see that you are not able to file your 3B or 1. Then you understand some DRC 1B is sitting without replying, to which you can't proceed further. Similarly, ITC versus 3B difference also, DRC 1C is a portal intimation, but there is no direct recovery. It will again proceed through 73, 74, which is adjudication matters. But this 1-3B is little dangerous because direct recovery. So this again, if at all you have to contest, High Court will become the route for contesting, because this is not an order against which an appeal under 107 can be filed. So once there is no remedy in the law, you have to approach High Court, and it's a long driven process. So be very mindful about 1-3B differences, and today we have GSTR 1A, right? Right? Anybody? What is GSTR 1A? Have you explored anything? Yeah. Of the current month. That is the beauty of it, Alva. If some mistakes happened in 1, it will go in 2B. But before filing 3B, ayyo one sonne ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯಿತು. 10 ಲಕ್ಷ ಆಗದ್ by mistake 1 ಕೋಟಿ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. Are you ready to pay that kind of a differential tax? No, right? Use this GSTR 1A to do the amendment, so that current month 3B, system generated 3B itself will take care of the amendments you make through GSTR 1A, and things can go in this thing. Of course, your client, he should ideally reject that invoice using the IMS dashboard, because he bought for 10 lakh, not for 1 crore. Ayyo 2 bill bandidiyalla, happily I'll take andre, he'll have to suffer the interest consequence. That is up to him. Anyways, once you have amended this, it will give effect in the 2B of the next month for the client. But for your sake, your 3B goes clean, 1 give effect through 1A, and 3B gets filed in match with it. So any discrepancies between 1 and 3B, please use 1A if you identify before filing of the 3B. We have electronic summaries for notices DRC1 and DRC7. I think till 2022, it was mostly like manual notices. DRC1 also I've seen manually printed and sent. But the law requires, Rule 142 requires DRC1 to be an electronic summary uploaded. Today we see all that. But many a times we have seen that the show cause notice which is there in that lengthy show cause notice, and the values if we match with the DRC1, there is again difference. Especially when they club multiple issues and multiple years in a single show cause notice, and they give multiple year-wise DRC1. Have you seen such notices? Single show cause notice, audit was conducted for 3 years. Single show cause notice issued for 3 years. But while uploading, they uploaded it year-wise. Similarly, orders are passed year-wise. So what happened basically, there are discrepancies between these two also. Now that you are filing appeal also online, your pre-deposit gets hit. We have seen a case, show cause notice has it is an order has been passed. Why your order in original has demanded 10 lakhs of IGST, but in DRC7, which is the electronic summary of the order, they put it up as 5 lakhs in CGST, SGST. We have applied for rectification. Now you imagine, you file appeal online based on the DRC7. Order says IGST, DRC7 says CGST, SGST. You will end up paying 10% of the tax amount, which is 50,000 CGST, SGST, while you should have paid 1 lakh IGST. Now your maintainability of appeal might go on risk. Please do these hygiene checks in your notice versus your electronic summaries. can they demand a flat 18% on the ITC reversal, demanding ITC reversal on closing creditors balance? You imagine what all assumptions department is making in putting up such a demand. First presumption is that entire closing credit balance is beyond 180 days. This is first assumption. Second, that on entire creditors balance, ITC is availed. There could be so many transactions on ITC is not availed, exempt supplies, everything. Third, everything is in 18%. This is nothing but best judgment assessment. Because details of ledger aging, creditors aging details is not provided, we have proceeded on assumption. Can an audit which is conducted for the purpose of detailed verification under section 65 do this kind of a best judgment assessment? It is not permissible in the law. Best judgment assessment can be done only under section 62 or 63, which is non-filers and unregistered persons. For an audit case, doing best judgment assessment is impermissible. You can just put up your grounds on these lines and can be done with it. There is section 76 notices also, which talks about if you were not supposed to collect the taxes and yet you collected, then what is the fate of these notices? I'll give you an example, couple of examples. Hospital, what is the time? Sorry, I've just left my phone. 11:50. Another 15 minutes? Do I have another 15 minutes? Okay. A hospital that provides healthcare services, correct? Healthcare services are exempt. Now we have inpatients where medicines are provided to inpatients. Operation done, lot of medicines are provided. Now these medicines in the inpatient bill are charged at MRP. What is MRP? Maximum retail price, including of all taxes, correct? Legal Metrology Act requires certain products should have MRP, and that MRP is an all-inclusive price. Now what does this indicate? All taxes includes GST also. Now you are saying inpatients, whatever your services provided is exempt because your principal supply is healthcare. Anything incidental, owing to composite supply concept, everything becomes exempt, but you are charging GST in the medicines. Now what happens? You have collected GST when you are not supposed to collect GST. The risk of this is section 76 says that you have to pay it back to the government. Howdu kattidivala? Elli kattidira? It is not paid, first point. Second, it has to be paid in cash. It is not tax. It is amount collected in the name of tax. If it is tax, you will utilize ITC. If it is not tax, how will you be eligible to even utilize ITC? Now the risk is that when in doubt, is it a good thing to advise, ayo correct gottaagtilla taxable exempt parvagilla kattbidi tax hengidru customer hatra collect madbodalla? Is it a good advice? It is a very risky advice because if you collect something in the name of tax, you have to discharge it entirely in cash and you are not eligible for the ITC. This is the risk with section 76 notices. I am taking another example where a supplier has misclassified walnuts as 5% rate when it is an exemption. Again, the same corollary what I gave. A software vendor has misclassified it as services instead of goods. We have two kinds of softwares. One which is a right to access, another which is downloaded on your PC, which will be classified as a goods per se. Now both are 18%, but is it okay that I interchangeably use this? Now there is a high risk even in this. Goods or service has to be clearly put up, and even though rate is same, again there can be one more demand which might pitch in. So be very careful in this HSN matters. A couple of more examples. In the paucity of time, I'm not taking it. So I've just put up this table as to trying to encapsulate the implications of section 76 notices where you wrongly treat a exempt supply as taxable and what are the repercussions in it. You may go through it when time comes in. Now, this important aspect I'll touch upon, importance of dates. Date of notice, date of signing the notice, date of issue of notice, date of service or communication of the notice. All these are different things. Officer might have dated it 8th March. He might have signed on 10th March. It left his office on 12th March. It reached your client on 15th March. All four are different. Date of document, date of signing document, date of issue of document, date of service of document. What is important in GST? Which date? Date of service is very critical because the law requires when it reached the taxpayer, because that is when he got his right to know about it, isn't it? We have seen lot of demands. Recent is section 73 for financial year 2021. 28th February 2025 was the last date under 7310, section 7310. Midnight 11:30, 11:45 vargo uploaded on portal. When did you see? Ade March 10th GSTR 1 file ಮಾಡುವಾಗ. Correct, no? See, you can't expect client or our team log in, one dedicated staff to log in to check all accounts to see ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು notice ಬಂದಿದೆಯಾ? Do you think we are supposed to do this? No, right? What is the intention of service of a document? To give an opportunity. Is it a real opportunity or namke vaste opportunity? It has to be a real opportunity. Principles of natural justice say, in real that opportunity should be provided. Many cases on this ground has been taken that service of notice on portal is not sufficient service because the service is when the taxpayer comes to know about it. So that becomes a critical aspect when you analyze the things. And I'm just giving you this comparative for different sections, what is it? And this summary will help you which date, whatever is red is time up for the department. I know my time's up in 5 minutes, but department's time's up for all these red marked notices, red marked dates. Blue is almost ending. E varshad whatever dates are there, after this they can't issue notice or pass order for this, it becomes a time bar demand. What is the new thing from 24-25, financial 24-25? 74A, Ishtadina section 73-74 were the two sections under which majority of the notices were issued. Now they've come up with the uniform section 74A from inna ee varshane mugdilla adu bandag nodkollana idanne digest madkollak agtilla correcta. So I've given this comparative 42 plus 12 plus 6, 42 months of from the due date of filing annual returns for the year, notice has to be issued and within 12 months order has to be passed, which can be further extended by 6 months. Allige, whether it is fraudulent case or non-fraudulent case, there is a uniform time frame of 42 months and 5 years to pass the order. So these are all for your references. Section 74 notice, whenever department alleges there is fraud, misrepresentation, suppression, willful misstatement, these allegations are made, it is difficult because many of the times they just copy paste a justification paragraph saying that there is suppression. It has to be established clearly, and we have section 75(2) which helps in auto converting a show cause notice from 74 to 73 if these fraud, willful misstatement and suppression is not proved. This is a big boon. Please include this in your reply paragraph for any 74 notice so that at a later stage when you get relief of this section 75(2) of conversion from 74 to 73, first advantage is penalty will get reduced. Drastically penalty will get reduced. Second advantage is they have issued after 73 timeline, but within 74, the entire demand itself will get time barred. So please include this ground in any of your replies when a notice comes in 74 or going forward in 74A, 5 subsection 2, subclause 2 is there, which is about fraudulent cases, okay, that we have time to see. Some lookouts in the notice, which section, who is issuing, remember traffic police officer, he can't demand GST. Simple thing you keep, and check which section what he is asking, whether the officer is eligible and whether the taxpayer is obliged to do that. Merits approach is good, but very laborious, and sometimes it may yield results, sometimes it may not. So you have to be carefully decide which approach you will use. Again, technical approach, I've just put up an example. Facts does not matter at all for technical approach. If notice is defective, we just go on those aspects. I've given a comparative of evaluation of approach. What are the risks of merits approach? What are the risks of technical approach? What is the best way to choose? And this is the comparative penalties. Always use section 160 subsection 2 to make these preliminary objections. And in the DRC 6 reply, which is a detailed reply to show cause notice, please plan thoroughly the strategy and then move upon. Have the chronology of the events with references. Very importantly, acknowledge the date of service and what is the position which is taken by the tax officer, by the taxpayer. Put up this line. We have a wonderful resource book written by Jatin sir, Pleadings and How to Deal with Show Cause Notices. It's a wonderful book where he has given a lot of templates for the reply. I'm sure if anybody is willing to do a GST litigation practice, it's a must read, must have in the office, and it has helped us a lot in understanding how to deal with the notice. We can take help of it, and definitely these are the things which has to be clearly put up. Don't overload your replies with case laws. Remember what happened to royalty matter? It was decided at the Supreme Court that royalty is not a tax. But when you replied that the matter is pending before the Supreme Court, you admitted that RCM was not paid on royalty. In your reply lied the admission. Now that the judgment is clear that it is not a tax on royalty, what ground will you take to contest further? Be very careful about using case laws. Don't overload it case laws, because still GST has not evolved to a stage where we can use the case laws. Safari retreats, what happened? Many replies went. Building mail credits we can take, lift credit, everything we can take. We relied on Safari judgment and did it. Now, they retrospectively amended section 17.5, said that plant and machinery, everything is resolved. We can't take any benefit out of this judgment. Only benefit is if a notice was issued under 74, there is an alternative interpretation possible. It came to 73 and became time barred. Ashte. Bitre, no other rescue available. So be careful in using the case laws. Now, what is the best strategy? Best strategy is what works, isn't it? Probably we'll have to understand with the experience or with the peer discussion how generally the tax officer looks at the case. I don't mean in any other sense. Nothing about chocolate box and settlement approach, please. I'm talking about clean litigation strategy here. What might work before a specific person in a specific case? I just want to end up my presentation with one experience to share. There was this demand about RCM on remuneration paid to directors. It had come up before the same officer in one of my client's case, and the officer said that it is RCM will apply, director's remuneration is the word used, it is not salary to get covered under Schedule 3. Now, I understood from where officer is coming, that demand got confirmed. Then we have filed appeal and we are contesting in the next stage. Now, in another client case, before the same officer, again she took up the same issue. This time, I took up an extract from the definition of the company law for managerial remuneration, then explained that this is part of the employee cost and this is not an independent service provider. She picked it up and she dropped the demand at the adjudication stage itself. The point I'm trying to drive here is understand what might work. And many a times merits approach also has done wonders to depending on what strategy we have used. It's a hard work, but even that yields a result. So you have to be, it's a mix of knowledge, your gut feeling, your understanding about the case, and the official also who is dealing with it, what might work that day. Of course, the mood of the officer on that day also might matter as well. But you have to be prepared. Don't give false assurance to the clients. Tell them clearly, this will go till second appeal. See, I'll tell you the statistics. First appeal stage, 90 out of 100 cases has gone against assessee, okay? Out of those 90 cases, 80 cases have gone in favor at the tribunal stage as far as service tax and the central excise matters are concerned. You understand, out of the unsuccessful cases at the first appeal stage, a drastically huge amount of cases have seen success at the tribunal stage. I think, like Madam was also mentioning, I see very less women at the arguing at the, before representing at the department and arguing before the tribunal and all that. This is a great area for all of us to work upon and harness our skill, upskill ourselves, take up assignments even if you don't know, reach out for help with people who are willing to help. We get help if we ask for it. And try to go out of your comfort zone and take up assignments which you have not done earlier, because doing is only knowing. Mere knowing is not knowing. You agree with me? Theory is something different. Once you get a hands-on experience, practically deal with it, the confidence you get is totally different. So go for it, and anything is there, I would be very happy to extend any support which I can do. I really want fellow women professionals to come up and take up this area as well. With these concluding remarks, I end my presentation. Knowledge is knowing what to reply. Wisdom is knowing when to reply. Again, these are taken from book of Jatin sir in the preamble. I love these words. It is not sufficient if you know what to reply. You should wait for the time, correct time to use the correct card. Wait for the time and then proceed. Thank you very much for your patient listening. And I wish you all the very best. Let's all celebrate womanhood. We are all powerful. Like the speaker also said, we're all empowered. Let us just give out our inhibitions. Let us take that push. Let us go for that big leap. And I'm sure sky is going to be the limit for us. Thank you, Bangalore branch, for having me over here. Yeah. Can we take up the questions? Sure. Yeah. See, section 169 provides for 14 modes of service. Okay. Now, one of the modes is serving online on the portal. We have a lot of High Court judgments which say that service of notice or order on the portal is not sufficient service. So if it is served on the whatever the fag end days or whenever it is, but it came to your notice only later, probably when a registered post came as a follow-up, or when you logged on for compliance or some reason it came, that will be the date of service, and you have to clearly mention it in the facts whenever you reply to the notice or put up in your appeal grounds as part of the facts, so that becomes a point for further course of litigation. I'm sure at the tribunal level we can expect a big relief on these things. Yeah. Assessee?
Later date only.
That is the point, ma. Let's say on 28th February, I'll take the same example, 2021 audit completed and the issued order. DRC 7 uploaded on portal on 28th February. You saw it on 10th March, or client saw it on 10th March when his accountant was filing. So he came telling that some order is passed. Now if you want to contest 7310 saying that date of service is over, this is a time bar demand, you have to put up in your fact saying that it came to our knowledge only on this day, that is why the date of service is this and not 28th. You will clearly say that date of service, that is why in the reply also I've mentioned there, clearly put out the date of service according to you. That becomes a big point for us to take it up in the next level of the proceedings. In this case, you can definitely contest saying that 10th March is the date of service and not 28th February because it came to our knowledge only this day, not when you uploaded.
But we should need a proof, no? That how can we verbally say that yes, it came to...
How will he prove? How will the officer prove? This is the difference between burden of proof and onus. Burden of proof is statutorily officer is required to prove it. When this question is raised, the ball is in the court of the officer, not on us. We are saying clearly that on 10th we logged in. So when we logged in for written compliance, we came to know. That itself is the proof. Of course, we can go to IP address checking when it was logged in. All that is later. And that they have to disprove it. If they say that, no, this is the game. Are you taking the ball back to your court? Be careful. Don't do that. Ball is already in their court. Allow them to play it. Don't react and shift onus to you. Keep the burden continue on the officer. This is a key in litigation.
Thank you, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for an interactive and wonderful session. So now I request the Vice Chairperson, CA Kavita Ma'am, to honor the speaker. A huge round of applause, audience. Now let's take a small tea break. Tea is arranged beside this room. I request everyone to present here at 12:15 p.m. Thank you.